now you are on the air. You are my camera person for the night. Okay? It's not super sensitive. It's still a cell phone.
Okay.
All right. Guys, I'm going to be recording this through my audio recorder all night long. So, 5:23, 9 p.m. tour. This stays with me all night long. You are going to have access to this on my website, which I'm going to give you a card at the end. You're going to have access to the video that Mia is taking. I will upload a YouTube video straight to the website, and I haven't even gotten to the tools that I'm going to use. So, I'm going to use some extra tools that are apps on my phone, which are super rad. And you're like, Nick, really apps are going to help us find ghosts? Hell yeah, they are. So, I keep an EMF with me as a backup, just in case something goes wonky there. It's not as sensitive as yours, but it still works. I'm also going to keep a spirit box that gives us words in the center. This is going to stay up all night long. The cool thing about this is that the word list stays saved, and I upload it to the website. This may coincide with what you're hearing on your spirit box. Most of this stuff that's going to come up on here is crap. 60 to 70% of it is garbage. It's up to us to put the clues together based on the stories I told if the word that's going to come through matches our story or the haunting that might be nearby. Does that make sense to everybody? Yep. So on your list, you will see words highlighted where I got excited. So if we're about to go down an alley and it tells me alley, I'm excited. We have somebody nearby that knows what we're doing. Super cool. So we will save that list. I also have one more gadget that I pull out when things get really exciting with everything else, and it's a reverse spirit box. And the reason why I don't play it the whole time is because it can get pretty annoying if it's the only thing you hear on your audio when we're trying to do other things. So, the reverse spirit box, everybody can take a listen to that. Sounds like complete gibberish. When you hear a word clearly, we were obviously meant to hear it. I've gotten very direct responses with this, with, yes, I'm here. Eliza is here. So forth and so on. I've gotten hello Nick out of this guy. Very crazy stuff happens on these tours. So, do I tell the same stories on every single tour? I do. But, can I predict anything that's going to happen? No. Your tour is special because it's going to happen right now, and I can't make this stuff up. So if you've heard of the other tours where they take you inside of a location, say a jail, I say it can probably be rigged. We're on the street. You want to check underneath sewer lines? I can't make this stuff up, guys. I promise you. So again, can't promise anything's going to happen, but I can promise you're going to have some fun. You're going to hear some ghost stories that you don't always hear, and you're going to get a good walk. Hopefully we'll find a bathroom, right?
Fingers crossed.
Earlier the better.
All right, so I was trying to make that as quick as possible. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're right.
We start here, first off, because there was a bathroom here. Second, because this place is haunted. So this used to be called Big John's.
Yes, that's yep.
That's the one he was talking about.
Okay, so Big John's. So let me bring up the other spirit box. I have that running. So you guys
How
have words.
funny is that?
We're literally walking. We're like, we used to go. It was Big something.
The guy I told you used to do the carrier stores.
Yeah.
It was Kevin Shiflett, and he took me to Big John's. It was
Okay.
Well over a decade ago.
And we couldn't figure it out where it was.
Yep.
Okay.
We're looking for it.
There it is. So do you know the ghost stories that are here?
Nope.
All right, so check it out. Big John used to sit in the back of the bar. He used to nod off to the bartender when the cadets used to come over from the Citadel, if they were of age or not. So, I love it. I love it. He's got the story in his head already.
No, I don't.
So, at any rate, he nodded off to the bartender one night that two guys weren't of age. They got pissed off and left. The next night, they come up and they steal a register out of the front of the building. Big John pulls out his .45 from the back of his shirt and takes one out. The ghost is said to be still haunting here, and anybody that sits in the front of the bar, because the bullet hole is still in the front of the building, is said to get queasy, lightheaded, just feeling ill.
Is it still there?
The bullet hole is still there.
Like, can we see it physically?
You cannot. However, the previous owner of Bean Rum Bar only covered it up with, like, he didn't like drill it or like fill it in or anything. He left it there, but he did cover it where it could be easily removed. It's like a piece of paneling. So, how long ago did that happen? That was in 1979, 1980. Was it? It's actually one of the newer stories I have. The other ghost that's said to have haunted here is, this was where we had a big earthquake in 1866. I'm sorry, who's not from Charleston? All of you?
Raise my hand, but yeah.
Okay. So I could tell you guys whatever I want to. We had an earthquake, I promise. So, actually, I think it was an 8.6 on the Richter. It was that big for us. This was where the first killing allegedly happened. A piece of the mantling that's above your heads fell and struck somebody in the head, and apparently the ghost still wanders the front of the building as well. Like in the front, like outside the building. So it is said to have been seen from time to time. I have gotten EVPs in the front of the building. It doesn't always happen, which is super cool. That's a good thing. We don't want the same things to happen every single time I go somewhere. And everywhere we're going to go tonight, it doesn't always have an activity piece to it. If we have activity at every location, great. But it doesn't happen every single night that I'm out here. So, you guys want to move along? You guys tired of standing against the wall? All right, we're going to head down this way. Oh.
Okay.
Yep, it might. All right, let's head down here. Got something fun? Got your cereal box?
My bag, ready to go.
You got the word constraint. So every time I get a word on my spirit box, I will shout it out.
Constraint.
Constraint.
Just get like, you spit it. No, I stood up. I have it in my mouth. Oh. Stop.
Like, where would that come from, though? Constraint.
It could be nothing, but I also have the word extensive.
Expensive constraint.
Like, it could be a spirit, or it could be coming from just some radio.
Good motion.
Honestly, the app is meant to be a hoax. It's meant to be like a college fun game. But I bought the updated version so I had an updated vocabulary because I believe that spirits can manipulate electronics no matter what it is. We just got to have the right gadgets. That's why we do this. All right, so a couple things right here, guys. It's a crew cafe, completely haunted. I walked through it with the EMF detector as a quick little while they were open. I did get some readings upstairs. Apparently there was a suicide that happened there. There's no record of it, and I cannot find a title and deed for that house because it used to be a slave home. So those kind of records are really hard to come by. But also, fun fact, Revolutionary War, we're about 1 block away from the water.
Oh, wow.
Cannon shoots over, cannonball lands right about where that stop sign is. However, there's no deaths or tragedies to attach to it, and I get no paranormal activity. Just a Charleston fun fact. So, you guys are into Charleston. What do we got now? French. Maybe it was the French that shot it. I don't know that for sure. I'll have to look that up. So, that's why we record everything, so I can double check myself. What do we got going on that EMF? Anything?
It was over there.
Okay.
No, really, that was
I got the word subject.
not. Me. This.
Oh, here we go.
All right, so.
Pretty sure I said shit.
Joshua.
Well, you gotta yell
No.
No, say I heard
If he's
something.
listening
got a
on
lot
that one and
going
you're
on.
far away from it, you guys are going to be fine.
He's pretty sure he just heard shit.
Well, now that's funny.
This is flashing orange and red.
Yep. We are standing on basically a sewer line. There's nothing underneath. There's no reason why the EMF should go off here. I would tell you 75% of the time that I come through here, it does go off.
No.
Now, there's been times where it hasn't, but I usually get a lot of spirit box activity, so there's no story here. I can't find anything. This barn right here is where they keep the horses for the carriage rides. It's also the horses, the barn where they used to keep the horses that used to deliver milk to downtown Charleston. That's how long it's been. I don't have a sword. I have the name Cameron showed up on my spirit box. If you have Cameron, somebody knows that's passed on, let me know. But anyway, I get a lot of stuff here. Lasers in those holes are not good. Those people look.
Oh.
There is.
There are horses in there right now. So we don't want to spook them. I have had somebody flash it in there and they kick the wall. And it scares the hell out of everyone. So, and it was not planned. So, and he's got a spirit box with the extended speaker. My speaker broke. So, but yeah, if you want to try to hold it as still as possible, so that way, if something is going to pass by, you're going to see it very quickly. Because I'll be honest with you, spirits don't like this thing. Every time I've gotten activity from it, it's never long. It's never a long thing. So if you want to hold it as still as possible, so when we start getting words out of there, hopefully he's going to start saying something soon, and then he's going to hear something. Mia, do you have any cold spots at all? We found cold spots along that tree last night.
Okay.
And what does it do when it's cold?
So
It shows blue.
it'll show blue. So guys, you can ask London questions about all your gadgets too.
To where I can see it.
No, you have to shut it
Okay.
off and then back on.
Okay.
But it
I
would
just
look
want
like
to
an
make sure.
object.
Thank
It would be like a spot.
It will just, like how it is now, it could be like that.
Because all that blue is
We got the word different.
just like the words, I guess.
Try going up like closer to there.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
I try to give it to the quiet person, so that way when they hear one word, they spit it out. but that's okay. You guys can switch.
I mean this. Oh, what's the tree?
I have the word child, which is weird. So guys, this app that I'm using, I will normally get a word when I'm in an unhaunted place once every 5 to 7 minutes. This has given me about 5 words in the past 3 minutes.
He's hearing stuff. He's just not sure what he's hearing. I just heard it.
Also, looky where, like, when there's a breeze, it will go a little colder.
Oh, okay.
I got the word racism.
Racism.
We were just talking about the slave house.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really? I just got a yell.
How are them cold spots?
I haven't really found anything other than like the
Right over
sky,
here.
I guess. Like
Have
here.
you seen the wind that we did last night?
Yeah, I actually told her about, like, when
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of getting colder by where, like, the tree was.
Yeah.
We also have a breeze, so gotta keep that in mind. That's gonna make it up to about 7 to 8 degrees cooler.
Okay.
What are you finding with your laser up there? I see you shooting that laser all over.
There's nothing.
Nothing in that specific, like around that tree, like yesterday? We had spots up here yesterday.
Right here.
For this to be effective, would it be better if I'm closer?
Honestly, the grid pen is meant to be extended out. So what's cool about that is you want to hold it as still as possible and just start off low and kind of make it bigger.
Yeah.
And you can turn the edge to make more dots. There you go. So find a good, that looks like a good set of dots.
I'm hearing all kinds of words, but I can't make them out. It sounded like baby, and there was a woman and a man.
Okay.
It was like a conversation.
I got the word Venus.
Hmm.
Men are from Mars. Women are from Venus.
Sounds like music. Can I pick up like, actual music from the radio?
Yeah. Like, if you hear, like, a certain, like, word from, like, say, a Billie Eilish song.
Okay.
Just a minute to it out there.
Not really. A lot of music. Nothing really.
Kelly?
Kelly, no.
Anything?
I didn't find any cold spots other than like the sky or just like in
Yeah.
windows or something. Like the open windows, I mean.
Well, over there. Over there, I kept going to that.
So I had somebody one time, they always try to debunk me, like I make stuff up. And the trash cans used to be over there, like, oh, the EMF's going off because of that electrical pole up there. I'm like, all right, so I took them up there. And I leaned on the garbage can, just showing them like it was perfectly level, like red back to green. But this guy is so cute. And then those trash cans were square. So it said waste cube. It was letting me know. So it was kind of, you see how we have to kind of like put the clues together? I'm like, oh, that's rad. You know? Because it's not always a clear message. This is actually a pretty low. You need to have it.
That one there.
I haven't gotten anything yet.
I'm hearing radio. Radio music. I guess that could be something too.
Yeah, 'cause, like the air is colder. Like if you just point it straight at the sky or something, it gets cold.
Yeah.
And if you point at like a tree, it's just regular, like back to 80s.
Yeah, you want it to be, that's what I think, you want it to be like an object, not where it's supposed to be. Right?
Yeah.
Guys, this is actually pretty weak as far as activity that I normally get here, so we're going to
Yeah.
go ahead and move on if you guys are good with that.
Yeah, I think I'm hearing music.
And that's okay too, so if you
Yeah.
hear something, you see how fast that static is going?
Yeah, because I just keep hearing bit. It's nothing I can tell you what.
So when you hear a full word, that
Yeah.
means that it stopped the static long enough for us to hear it.
Okay.
That's how I take that. It's almost like Bumblebee from Transformers.
That's really good.
I got the word car.
What is it?
Car?
Car?
Car. I mean, buy cars, I guess.
Like a car.
Did you get any full words yet?
I keep hearing that.
It's weird.
come in and around the corner. This is a parking lot and it is used, so we're going to step off to the side so I'll tell you what happens here before we kind of explore this location.
Popping.
Oh, wow.
What did you just say?
Wow.
This one's popping.
Oh, wow.
Stop it. There
Says
you
pop.
go. Now it's white. Really? White
Now it
boy
says white.
pop.
I'm white. I said popping.
Now, we had the word racism come up. We don't need the rest of that
The
to
reverse show up because I'm
Right?
just saying I'm white.
Alright, so, guys, this is actually a big historical landmark. That's a big, giant parking lot right now. So, Charleston is known for a couple of things. Obviously, our plantations, right? What was on our plantations? Anybody know?
Slaves.
Well, what was the crop?
Cotton. Oh, cotton.
Cotton? What else?
Tobacco.
Tobacco?
Rice.
Rice. Okay, so when the rice plantations went to crap, we needed something to save us. And it all started right here. You're standing at the Eliza and Thomas Pinckney mansions.
Oh.
Okay, so Thomas Pinckney and his son, Thomas Coatsworth Pinckney, if you're unfamiliar with them, were signers of the Constitution, founding fathers. Okay, so super cool that we're standing where their house used to be.
Yeah.
But it's Thomas's wife that makes the interesting case here. Eliza married Thomas to stay here because her father wanted her back home in England. So she married Thomas so she didn't have to go back home. There was a big age gap. The difference with that is once he got better, he started sending her plants because she's a botanist. Okay, so a botanist is somebody who gets into plants. Okay, so explain it because some people don't know what that is. He sent her over an indigo plant, which she planted right here. This would have been her garden lined up with that dumpster. These would have been the slave homes for the mansion, right where we're standing back here. The mansion was in the front. Okay? The indigo plant saved Charleston because she was also the businesswoman who was able to sell it overseas. Indigo makes blue dye. All of your jeans that are blue come from indigo. That's where it comes from. Okay? That all started right here. Pretty crazy, right? Eliza comes through here a lot. She comes through all of my spirit boxes. I do get weird on the northern end of the lot. I will get stuff like buried body, can't find, weird things like that. Like there's a secret here that I'm not willing to unravel. I like the story of Eliza. It's a positive story. So if there's something negative, I try to stay away from it. But Eliza will come through and talk to us. She'll come through on both spirit boxes. I'll get words that are relevant to her on here. The reverse spirit box is where her name came through. I asked her to tell us her name. We got a very distinctive Eliza. Like you could not mistake it. It's on my blog. You can check it out because I saved that clip of audio. It's amazing what we can find in here. The grid pen is really good in here. Just watch the street and that wall. You're gonna say, Nick, there's a conduit over here with wiring in it. I've tested it all. It's all dead. I've been here in the daytime. I've been here at nighttime, obviously. There's nothing that should be causing the EMF in our spirit boxes and all of our tools to go off in here. Nothing. The sad thing about this site, they're going to build a hotel here probably in 2 years now because of Corona, but they're not going to do an archaeological dig to get the artifacts out of the ground. So let's explore it while we can, because once the hotel goes up, I don't take people in buildings. So have some fun, find me some cold spots.
Okay.
It's your job tonight.
Also, with the EMF, it'll sometimes line up with
Oh
the
yes,
lights.
the lights is working tonight. So the blinking light on the back of the 5th Street Church, if you hold that up when you're in the center of the parking lot, it will go, it's almost in sync. If you guys want to video it, you can. It is almost perfectly in sync with, now sometimes, I'll be honest with you, sometimes it's pulsing super fast, so will that. Sometimes it stays on, and the EMF will just go off randomly throughout the lot. So it's kind of like one of those, if it's working and it's blinking like that, we're going to have some activity. So it's almost like I can gauge how much activity I'm going to have here by how that light is reacting. And sometimes it's out completely.
That
Sometimes it's just
light?
blown.
That's
Yeah, the one that's blinking.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Looks like Joshua's out venturing off.
Okay.
He's good to go. He's got his story. He knows what he's looking for. So again, you guys need to watch your temperatures. If you see something go, if we feel a draft, try to pinpoint where it might be, and then let's get Mia to video it to see if maybe we can see a blue orb of some sort. I would say, like, you're at 78 now. I would say 73 to 72. Like, you should be excited.
Okay.
Like 5 degrees is usually my barometer. What's great about this laser is that it can help us define things. So if you're like, oh, it's super cool over here, and she gets a little chill, you can say, alright, we're around the same temperature. Because that's going to pick up what's on the ground. That's why we have all these different thermometers and different gauges. So, how's our EMF feeling? Still going nuts?
With the light?
Getting anything?
Well, the street is kind of like, I guess, pretty blue. It's a little colder, I guess, because like, yeah. Like, do you know what temperature it would have to be to like, I don't know, like probably have some sort of activity, I guess?
Anywhere like maybe 5 to 10 degrees colder
Okay.
than average temperature.
Okay. Yeah, probably not here then.
We usually get some activity like in these 2 corners.
So, okay, I'll check over there.
I really think I just heard help.
Help?
I really think I just heard help.
Oh.
I keep hearing a man like it sounds like
Yeah. I know, they were like, they went that way. Yeah.
Can you see the birds? Eliza, can you see the birds?
got anything wrong? The lowest degrees I got are like 77 or something.
Where?
I was over there, but it's supposed to be 5 to 10 degrees lower. That's when it's like
But then
activity.
What, 82?
Yeah, from the original.
5. 77 is just 5 degrees.
82?
82 minus.
Well, I mean, it was that mattress thing. I don't know if that's like a thing, but
What?
it was like the mattresses. Oh, 76.
Yeah. Tell them over. The mattress?
Okay. Not sure if that means anything, but
The
could be.
mattress over here is registering a little cooler.
I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Do you see anything? Yeah. Hold on. Oh no, not. Now it's weird. It's not cold anymore. Oh, my sweat. Ew, what are you doing? Anyway. Okay. Documents. Hang on. I can't find anything cold. Like anything really cold at least. The wood was like a little tiny bit cold. Like I think that's just really cold.
That's really just standing out. He said 5 degrees or more. So over here in this area.
I guess
Yeah,
over
what's this area look like right here? Like in the middle of this little circle we have going on?
there. It says 83.
Like even like where I have the device?
Yeah.
That's find a restroom.
Yeah, there was right there, that camp stop.
Oh, okay, they let you in?
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't always let you
I
in.
had a big
Well,
sign
they said
for public
84.
restrooms, so-
Okay.
And I went.
I said you.
So there's a public restroom.
We've gotten quite a few things.
building.
She told us we're inside her house.
Oh,
Okay, it's like, you know when you have to
We
go
are.
and then you just don't because you held it for some
Just making
And
sure
this
you're
has
where
not
you-
Thank
stopped.
you. No way.
it's been, yeah, even over there. It's been going.
Like I said, it's sometimes it'll go down to green, and I've even asked her to go away from it to make it
I
go
feel
to
like
green.
in the middle of people though is blue.
So I'm gonna actually
Well,
bring that back to you
no.
guys.
No. Like when you
It
hold
is like
it up.
it depends on the
Whoa.
degrees.
Eliza, is
I couldn't
anybody
even hold
else
that
here
up.
with you?
That's the
Bacon?
voice.
That's
That
nothing.
deep man. That's what keeps coming through on here. This really.
There's a deep voice that keeps coming through here.
And
That's
that-
normal. But you're getting it over there too on the regular spirit box.
Yeah. I'm not hearing much consistent, but that was the consistent voice. It's really deep.
Yeah, I haven't gotten
Someone's
anything.
an American food.
Weird.
Yeah, he's getting really clear voices.
Yeah.
These are so not clear. Yeah. Oh wow.
Eliza, is somebody else here with you? Leonardo? That's gonna have to be something I looked up. That there might have been somebody named Leo that she knew. Who is Leonardo? Can you tell us who that was? No?
No.
Nicholas?
Retail.
I heard Nicholas.
Retail.
Leonardo?
Mom.
Why am I here?
That was a cool sentence. That was great.
Did you guys hear that? Why am I here?
Yeah. That was a man too.
Guys, I honestly haven't had this much activity out of this spot in probably since December.
Oh, wow.
Is Thomas here with you? Thomas?
I just heard Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta turn it all the way up too. Thomas. Group. Yes, we are a group. Thomas, how many wives did you have? Thomas, how many wives did you have? Prove to us you're here.
Jason?
Is that what Jason?
Oh.
How many wives did you have?
Did you guys hear Jason?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think there's a June or something.
Let's try something more specific. How many wives did you have named Eliza?
Are you British?
He had 2 wives named Eliza, back to back.
Oh, wow.
Alright, Eliza, I gotta move the group. Do you want to say goodbye? Yes, we're leaving. You hear leaving?
Yeah, I did.
Eliza, I'm gonna say goodnight. Give us one more word. Execute.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
She executed the question, I guess.
Means you have to move the
Finish.
group.
Yes, I have to continue
She's
on.
British.
I'm not shooting anybody down.
Okay. Execute.
She means let's do this.
Oh, totally.
Okay.
Walk about 2.5 blocks. Your gadgets are irrelevant while we're on these pages.
Oh.
Just so y'all know.
I really like music. I just want to hear something. But there was one consistent really good voice. Yeah, did you hear him say it's like while we're walking, it's just not going to pick anything?
Yeah, yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Anybody else have to use the restroom?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say, because the canister right here will let you in.
Yeah. Thank you. What?
You have the car, you should get good back.
Yeah, but sometimes when you don't go, it just
I know. Then you have to go a lot later. Okay. Oh, hello. I want to put my phone somewhere where I can, like, no, I'll wait. Are you sure? I'm sure. I don't want to, like, just leave because I can't do that. No, it's fine. Obviously, with the leave. I know. You know what? It's okay.
well, it's going to be nice to spit it on the ground. A lot of people will do that.
I know. Cool.
City market.
Warm tonight or something. It's just weird. Maybe it's just warm tonight or something.
The thing is, like, should That's what sometimes more people say to go.
Yeah, I know. Oh, the alley. Oh, that's cool. You know what's that?
It don't stop. Punishing punk motherfuckers with a flip like Compton style, nigga.
Yeah. I heard it. I noticed. I was like,
Oh my god, my hand hurts. No, no, it's okay.
This is mine.
Yeah, a preview of the tour, you know?
You like them? Yeah. What'd you do? Caviar is not fake, right?
Ooh. It's an alley, okay. Joshua.
that's what it's all about.
Oh my god. Maybe not. You take pictures now? Can you send them to me? I don't have like any time to take pictures or like. It's a cool alley. I'll be ominous. Or not.
Wow.
Oh, it's bright.
Oh, you were creepy.
Can I see it?
Wait, let's do that one more time.
I want to see the creepy one.
I will. Get in there.
Oh my god, that hurt my eyes. I probably blinked or something.
I didn't. Oh God, you both. She
Can I see it?
and you
Oh,
blinked
God,
and
my
I looked
face.
mad.
Well, that's great.
Look at you.
What is that saying, dude?
Okay.
So we had the word execute, right?
Yeah.
Against the wall. No, I'm kidding. Alright, so, guys, this is where I like to just catch up with where we are in the words that came across. We did get some cool stuff along the way here. So we did get the words family and constitution back to back.
Oh, wow.
We were just at the Pinckney Mansion site where two members of the family were signers. So that kind of tells you how this goes. Got a bunch of other words, rise, amount, engineering, pose, and shape. None of them really make any sense to me. Nothing really goes along with the history of the places that I told you. So I usually stop in this particular location, I have the word tank. So I'm going to actually let you hold that out while I tell my gadget stories. So we are standing in Lodge Alley. So weird little fun fact, I haven't verified if it's true or not, but apparently the three bricks that are in the center here is the exact latitude or longitude of Charleston.
Oh, wow.
I haven't verified it, so one of my tour guests told me one night, and I was like, oh really, that's why they're weird like that. But this is actually where the Masons used to meet outside, nice humid night. This is where they would actually have their meetings. Lodge Alley this is the Lodge Alley Inn. There's a hotel over there. You can't go past the gate. It is haunted. There are apparitions. Sophia, we've had that name before, haven't we?
Do you know anyone named Sophia, Mom?
Imagine over here, we have to check some of the records. But anyway, apparitions have been seen in specific rooms over there, so we actually looked up those stories of hotels in Charleston. Lodge Alley Inn is one of them. And you're standing right in Lodge Alley. So it's a really cool place for me to tell you like one of my quick psychic stories of when I was doing that investigation. So anybody here not believing in psychics? Yeah, we're all psychic believers, really? I got a whole group. Anybody never been to a psychic?
I said a little skeptic
I've
before.
never been to a psychic before.
All right, so which story should I tell? Brentwood or Fort Fremont?
Are you skeptical?
No.
Fremont?
Yeah.
Fort Fremont, Beaufort, South Carolina. So, we don't have all of our gadgets yet. She's just holding that up in case something comes up on the screen. So, we didn't have all of our gadgets. We basically had the dummy down stuff of the apps, and I was trying to get away from the psychic. I needed more tools, and we were just experimenting with things. So we went to Fort Fremont. It's an abandoned fort that was barely used, and there was a bunch of like headless soldier type stories down there, and we were just going to check it out. And we had an EMF, I think. We had the EMF detector. So I'll get migraines from time to time. They're actually to the point where they are what they call suicide headaches. So really bad. They come timed. They come in season. I hadn't had one in months. I tell you that because once we started walking in through Fort Fremont, I started getting one of these headaches. I also have an emotional support animal because he helps me with my epilepsy. So, another reason why London's here. She knows what to do. At any rate, my dog senses that my blood pressure is changing. He knows when my headaches is coming. She still wants to explore the fort. I send her off with my wife to go use the new gadgets. What do we got? Around? Okay. So I send her off, and I can't see. My eyes water, and the dog is licking my face, just making sure I'm okay. My wife and her pick me up. They take me back to the car, get me a few snacks. We got a whole list of words that I now have to investigate. I think it was one of the first times we used that app. Yep. So this is me deciphering what works and what doesn't. I got the words rock, creek, and raid mixed into a whole list of words, but they stood out to me. So I started investigating more into Fort Fremont, and it turns out that Harriet Tubman led a raid from Fort Fremont over a creek into, I forget what it was, Creek City, something like that in North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
The exact phrase of what I just told you was written by her in her book to one of the lieutenants, and I can't remember his name either. Sorry, it's been a few months since I did some tours, thanks you, Corona. So I'm forgetting some of my names. But at the same token, those three words came up specifically, which was really cool, right? So now I have some valid proof that this app works, but I'm like, what's with the headache? So I start diving into Harriet Tubman because I haven't read about Harriet Tubman since 4th grade. So let's check her out. Turns out she used to get migraines on the left side of her head. Some people say she was in a riot and a bottle hit her, and she used to get visions. Other people say that she used to get beaten on that side of her head because she was a slave child, so forth and so on. But I felt this interconnection of why did I get this random headache that I used to get probably a year before that, all of a sudden, and I didn't have one for months after that. It was one solitude migraine. Crazy. So I know I told you I'd tell you a psychic story, but we got a large group here, and I normally tell one or two, like 2 stories if I have a small group, but we'll actually keep moving. Any questions about where Fort Fremont is? It's actually on this really cool little beach area. Anybody ever heard of it before? Probably because it was never used. Like I said, they stationed people there, but it wasn't part of any war. It was kind of one of the just-in-case forts, but it's still standing today. It's a really pretty sight from what I could see of it, with my eyes watering. But again, the psychic stories, if you want to see or hear all those, podcast and blog, they're all there and with detail, and they are completely accurate. He goes crazy with automatic rating. If you're not familiar with that, that's basically where you and I can have a conversation, and I'm writing something completely different that has nothing to do with what we're saying. And he used to do that on the way to the location, and I never would tell him where we were going. I would call him up and say, hey dude, we're going to be inside for 5 hours, that's how you need to dress. It's December, so you take your pick how you want to dress. That's all I would tell him. And then he would just start picking up on things as we would get to the location, and 9 times out of 10 it didn't make any sense until after I did the research later, and it wasn't me going, oh wow, that must be it. It was a spot-on date or a name or something very, very specific. And I have a strong belief in, I'd say 20% of psychics. The other 80% are bogus. So, hold. Interesting. Guys, we are going to go through this alley. At the end of it is a residential area. I'm not allowed to do touristy things past that alley until we get back out to the main street. So at that point, we're going to be... Barrier? Yeah, it is a barrier.
Oh, wow.
Barrier. It's kind of like my stopping point. But we can all hang out as, what, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 friends just out ghost hunting. So, and it's only going to be for one block until we make another lap. So just so you guys know, I have to be somewhat quiet as we go through there. So you guys are free to record. Just don't flash the houses, please.
Yeah.
Your lasers. So let's head up this way. Lennon, you got your flashlight? I'll take the phone. Lennon's going to shine a flashlight. She'll walk along the side so everybody can see. So I'll flash it every more time. I forgot to check everybody's shoes. I normally check that because of this specific alley.
Oh.
Everyone's going to try to walk this way.
What was it?
Huh?
What is it?
Big old palmetto road.
Oh, gosh.
It's the road.
Ew. Mom, look at that. Don't flash. Oh. Okay. Oh, God. Okay. It's gonna run. Okay. That was...
Oh, we rent one.
Oh, cool. Oh, wait.
Nothing?
I just felt it get colder, but I didn't see anything. Oh, God. Was there more bugs?
Oh, it's in there, Josh.
I'm gonna go around. It's bugs. Ugh. Oh, God. I have that too. I mean, not with me, but you know. Okay, kind of dust over here. That's a sign. Okay.
What was that?
I don't know, there's something like that.
No way.
We found it.
How are you guys?
Good. How about y'all?
Good.
We don't get like the small ones. We get like the big like water bottles, whatever
But
they
the
are.
small ones are supposed to be bad.
Oh yeah, the German ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I just know that shit is huge.
Here.
As soon as we got
That looks
Oh,
scary.
God.
Yeah, we're gonna need you up front. Where you at?
Oh, right here.
Okay. All right. So we got passers-by, guys. Let's step to the side.
Okay.
Josh, can we step to the side? Let the passers-by go. So guys, this the dark building, the dark brick, guys, used to be Bachi's restaurant.
Huh.
Nobody is in there now because it's been haunted. It runs businesses out of here. There's been activity that we've caught in the windows on the second story.
Oh, wow.
The reason why I asked Mia to come up, so if she can scan some video, hopefully we can catch an apparition going through the windows. Things like to stack up in there, things like to move around. So you got a little bit of an EMF, but we are also on a very busy street with street corner lights and crosswalks. So you are looking.
Oh wow, all the windows are blue.
Well, all the windows are blue. Yeah.
Temperature, so that's normal. We're looking
Oh,
for
you
something
got a
dark
whole-
inside that blue, or maybe
Ooh.
something even brighter blue.
Brighter blue. Not really.
So that dark alley is actually residential. Those are apartments back there.
Really?
Yeah.
They have to go
Oh, that's somebody's house.
wait.
Oh. Somebody lives there. I don't know.
Somebody lives next to the haunted place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Try to get punched.
Nothing there.
There's actually, if you go in that little thing, there's signs in there that say keep out on private property.
Oh.
People actually live.
Oh, in there.
You knock on the door and they say, secret password.
It says okay on my spare box.
Okay.
Okay, go do it. Sure, okay. Yeah.
Have I been in there? Yeah. No. I cannot.
I just heard okay.
Oh wow.
Really?
Okay.
Sweet home Alabama.
That's amazing.
We're going to run into some other tours around the corner because it's a very popular haunted area. I'm going to tell you guys the stories in a tale so you guys have the history of Charleston kind of thing. We are going to skip Powder Magazine in my eye.
Nothing. They're all the same.
I will point out it is the second oldest building in Charleston. It's super cool. And it's one of those places where if you're into military and the different ways of military, I guess what's the word I'm looking for? The generations of the military, you can see all the different uniforms in there, the different kinds of weaponry, a lot of cool stuff in there. And the way the building is built is amazing. So we're going to go up to that corner and I'll point out the color.
Nope.
Why aren't you allowed to go in there?
So nothing.
I had emailed whatever company owns it now, like it's just a real estate company. They have
Yeah, nothing. It's all the same.
Yeah. Why is that haunted?
I don't understand why there's nothing. Like, there's nothing in any of the windows, nothing at the doors, nothing in their house itself. It's really weird.
I don't. There are
gosh.
some hearsay,
Okay.
but I don't know anything that would say that it's an actual cheese. Not enough to say it. So guys, let's take a look at the Powder Magazine real quick from across the street. You see the building with the crosses on it?
Oh.
That building has 8 pillars on the outside, 36 inches thick, and the top, the roof, is actually filled with sand from
Oh, wow.
1712.
Wow.
So it is the second oldest building in Charleston. If you're going to visit other locations because you're on vacation, the Pink House is the oldest.
Does it withstand possible cannonball fire?
Yes. We are standing in the center of what used to be Charlestown. There was 4 pillars with a big giant brick wall around Charleston, starting with the bay. That it was hidden in the center. It's actually seen. It's, can I say 7 different doors?
7 or 8.
7 or 8 different wars, in and out, nothing that it served fully. Like it didn't fully serve the Civil War for its entire duration. It would come in and out. Oh, let's put some powder here, and then we'll take it out and move it so we can save it, kind of thing. Lots of cool stuff in there. But again, I've walked through there with the EMF, spirit box, all my gadgets. They're hip to it because they claim it's haunted by pirates. And they actually used to do a tour like this just on the grounds of the Powder Magazine with a group for a night. Like, but they wouldn't catch it. I couldn't find anything online that said that they caught it. So, to me, the evidence that I didn't catch, the evidence I couldn't find, to me, not haunted. Very cool, but no. So, we're gonna walk-
History on the uniforms and stuff like that.
yeah. I think so.
I mean, it might just be me because I'm really hot all the time. Like, I guess my hands always get really hot. I don't know if that does anything. But still.
I don't know.
Probably not,
Take
but.
the temperature or something.
There's a lot of places.
Graveyard, so.
I'm still investigating more of Charleston.
Oh, wow.
To keep the blog and everything going. If I find more things here, then we'll
We did that last year.
Like that? It sounds like fireworks.
Honestly, I think one of my biggest hotspots.
Oh, yeah.
Is that true? It's like probably.
Like 6 months now.
Oh, I thought you said snake.
I feel like he would
So
have
why is
reacted
everybody so
a
calm?
little bit different.
Yeah.
Especially Florida in general. There's a lot that comes up. Alright, so guys, there's another tour up there, but I will tell you, if you look through this courtyard right here, you guys see the opening on that wall back there?
Oh, yeah.
That's in the alley that we just passed. We're going to go back to it. I usually kind of time it so I'm not in all the other tours' way, because they have usually larger tours than this. But that gate is actually, that's from Dueler's Alley. There used to be duels held in that alley, and the loser would come straight through that gate, and there's a cemetery right over there. He would go straight to his grave.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
cool little fun fact.
Are we going in the cemetery?
No. So the only cemetery that we would actually have access to, and they don't always have it open, so I can't make it a regular part of the tour, especially a group this size, I can't do, would be the east end of, actually I'm sorry, the west end of St. Philip's. John Calhoun is buried over there. You can walk it during the daytime. And I'll be honest with you, most evidence that I get is outside of a cemetery. Magnolia Cemetery, on the other hand, up the road, completely haunted. Have a blast in there. Haunted stuff everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, take your apps, you'll have a
Like do it
conversation.
at nighttime or during the day?
Doesn't matter. Honestly,
wow.
I do the nighttime effect because it's for the effect. I could do this during the daytime and get all the same evidence.
Oh.
No lie.
I tried telling her today about how they used to have strings tied to people's fingers at one point.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
because
the
if they were
bell.
buried alive.
Yeah, they had a bell on the end
Instead
of
of
the
back
string.
Yeah.
Assume someone was dead.
I remember that.
So, a couple of stories that tie into here.
Not quite dead yet.
He'd be like, excuse me.
I'm just deadly burned.
But yeah, I think one of my first tours I went into, because I actually was going in areas I wasn't allowed to go into with my first set of groups, but I only had like 2 or 3 people to get it started. Then I found out like, hey, you can't go in that cemetery like in the middle of the night, and then they started chaining it up. So
Why aren't you allowed to go in these cemeteries?
why aren't you?
Yeah, if there's, they got
They keep
ancestors
it
buried in there.
Well, you can go in during the daytime.
You know when grave robbers are.
People desecrate graves at night. They can't go around. It's more policing going on during the daytime. Yeah, let's make a hole.
I give it to you.
No.
Get started. So,
Okay.
really cool stuff in this area, and there's 3 locations that all tie in together. So right past, we're looking at St. Philip's Church, okay, which is the highest steeple we have here in Charleston. Of course, there's 2 sides of the graveyard, east and west side. Right past it is the Pirate House. You would miss it if you didn't know what to look for, but you're looking for a giant anchor on the front of the house. Somebody actually lives there. Don't go knocking on his door asking him about hauntings. He'll get mad. I promise you. So,
I take it you've done it.
Oh my gosh.
really close. He came out after one of my tours one night with a grip pen. Somebody was flashing his house.
Ooh.
We won't get into it. Anyway, 1 block past that we have Dock Street Theater, one of the top 10 haunted locations in America.
Oh, wow.
Really cool, right? You can visit it during the daytime, self-guided tour, walk in with any kind of paranormal equipment, and they will gladly talk to you about the ghosts that they have there. Super cool stuff. I have caught some EMF in there from time to time. Nothing on my spirit boxes, nothing that was very significant. But there's a couple stories that go along with all of these, and that's why I tell you that. First off, the Pirate House is called the Pirate House because that's where the pirates would come in. They grab a pint, they can spend the night, do whatever they needed to do, and they were kind of in the middle of the grounds. They weren't really being seen. There was a tunnel from the Pirate House up to Dock Street Theater underground where the pirates can go in, they can do some dealing, and then go catch a show at the theater. Okay? Super cool, right? It's filled in now because we're stupid. And it's 1990 whatever, and we decided to fill it in. The rumor was that Blackbeard's treasure was buried there, but of course it's bogus because Blackbeard never even set foot on Charleston soil. So he used to stay back and go to the ships. His men would come in and do whatever they needed to for him, and he stayed behind. Okay? So that's super cool. The story that ties everything else together, let's go into a little bit of history of Dock Street Theater. First, it was a theater, which is Dock Street, which is what you're standing on. This is no longer Dock Street. What is this street? I don't know. Queen?
Maybe?
Can't remember. Anyway,
87?
it's not Dock Street, but it was on Dock Street. That's what this used to be until they widened the road. Then turned into Planters Hotel, which basically had prostitution. It was a place to stay. It had basically a brothel going on inside the hotel. And then it turned into Dock Street Theater that we know today. So kind of keep that in mind as we talk about the ghosts here in a minute.
This is the theater, I'm sorry?
No,
This
the
thing?
theater is 1 block past, it's across the street, past the Pirate House. So the reason why all this ties together is because there was a young lady named Nettie Dickerson who worked here at the church. She was past the marrying age, of 17, and she was 23. Right? So she felt like nobody wanted her, but yet she's seen the brothel going on down the street. And all these young gentlemen having a good time. So she went down there to go get a job, which is exactly what she did. She put on a red dress, went down and got a job. She still wasn't happy. So it turns out she used to sit on the balcony on the second story and just ponder about coming back to the church, because you can see it from the second story over there. The priest goes down there when I talk to her about coming back. Storm comes in, lightning strikes the wrought iron banister that she's laying on, strikes her dead.
Oh.
Okay? It is said that she is seen from the knees up as an apparition. Why the knees up? Remember I told you it was a theater, a hotel, then a theater again? When we turned it back into a theater, we raised the first floor ceiling. She's walking on the floor that she knows. She's seen from the knees up. So when we turned it back into a theater again, we raised the first floor ceiling. So she's walking on the second floor that she knows.
Oh.
Yeah. Right. Super cool. The other ghost that said to have been seen there is Julian Booth. He's the father of John Wilkes Booth, who shot Lincoln in a theater. Julian Booth was an actor who traveled the country. He used to act here all the time. Now, he's telling you that's like a scare. He's going to get in that ghost, just so you all know. But anyway, Julian Booth is just said to be seen here in period dress, which would have been it was early 1800s, 1810s, 1820s. He didn't die here. Nothing happened to him here. He just loved the theater so much here that he is seen to be. He just shows up from time to time.
Like where?
Inside the theater. You can go during the day. So here's the reason why I think it's haunted, and I didn't catch a whole lot, is because I believe that wood, because it's a part of nature, carries spiritual activity. There are pieces of wood in the Dock Street Theater that came from the Radcliffeboro neighborhood, which was the neighborhood you passed to meet me. You had Radcliffeboro, Ansonboro, which is where we met. Okay, we're in different neighborhoods. When something gets demolished here, or gets ruined by an earthquake or a fire, we reuse what we can. That's what Charleston does. So they took wood from a mansion that fell due to a fire, and they put it in the Dock Street Theater. The two doors that you see when you walk in that go down to the first part of the theater itself, those doors came from Radcliffeboro. The crown molding that you will see around the second balcony floor, that is 12 feet up in the air that I can't reach with an EMF detector, came from the Radcliffeboro. So I believe that it's haunted due to whatever came from Radcliffeboro over to there. I have no other evidence that says that the Nettie Dickerson story or the Julian Booth story is true. So I believe if somebody is feeling something or they see something, it could be due to the fact it says equal. Could be legends, myths, those kind of things. That's what I'm after. I'm after the fun things. So the story that he's telling up there, there's a sign right there by the gate. That's the eastern part of the cemetery. Yeah, anyway, there's a sign up there that says there's no ghost in St. Philip's except for the Holy Ghost. There's a reason for that. The legend goes, in 1888, a woman died of, she died 10 days after her stillborn child. That's how that story goes. We can actually go up there now. So I'll tell the story real quick before we go. So she died 10 days later. 1988, exactly 100 years later, I find it rather ironic. We had a photographer here in town. He puts his long lens through the in between the gates, and he catches an apparition. Right? Super cool. Sends it off to Kodak because we didn't have Photoshop back then and cell phones and all that craziness. Kodak could not debunk the picture. The picture was of a woman leaned over the woman's grave with a baby basket next to her, and the woman had a shawl over top of her. I don't show the picture for a couple of reasons. There's a lot of females here. The legend and superstition is if you hand the picture to a female, they will start to feel ill will. If they're pregnant, the pregnancy will not go well. I'm not jinxing my tours. So, we're going to go up, and the grid pen you can actually use inside that part of the cemetery. So if you have that, you gotten anything from the spirit box? I guess some activity up here, not a ton.
I just can't get the words, but I was also listening to you.
Right.
But
well, let's go up and check out the cemetery.
Yeah, I know you did.
For this part, you know, I haven't even been able to come up like to just walk around and see things. I do a lot of research with my headstones.
Isn't that the one we went in last time?
I thought so.
It looks familiar.
Or it looks like it. Sorry, but
Okay.
Part of the graveyard. So everybody here familiar with Edgar Allan Poe?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so you guys know Annabelle Lee is
I
buried here?
just learned about him, Mom.
Do you know where? Unitarian Church. It's an unmarked grave. I haven't been in there since I got the equipment because it's been closed. So I could probably venture in there with the new thermal camera and probably find out exactly where she's at.
There's somebody trying to talk to us.
But we have really pretty headstones here. A lot of old headstones.
So you're able to walk around here during the day?
This half, no. That side, yes. They're actually doing some work on some headstones in here. It's been closed for months. Believe it or not, I've only been doing this for less than 6 months.
Oh wow.
I feel like I heard overblown a minute ago.
Overblown?
I just heard over, but I don't know.
Huh?
Overblown?
I heard over.
You heard
because I was
over?
like, yeah.
So, Mia, let's step back here for a second. I want to see what you capture from the steeple. Watch, you're on an incline, so don't fall backwards. So go ahead and get that up there. We actually had some crazy temperatures there last night. I just want to see if it's there again.
Oh wow, 73.
We'll go to the left
Where it
and right
was.
of it, like in the blue areas. Tell me how cold it gets.
Wait, hold on. Oh, that's the sky. It's like
So we had it down to like low 60s, did we not? Was it low 60s or high 50s?
It was one of the two.
I mean, it was like, we couldn't figure out if it was just windier up there or what the case was.
That's still really low. And where'd you say that we could go in with like equipment?
Unitarian Church, if it's open. But again, they do a lot of work in there too. Like they do a lot of headstone work here just to make sure everything is still standing.
Yeah.
You know, things aren't cracking. They will spackle the back of it if they have to. Yeah, it's actually, if you go, I don't remember how far it is from here. It's actually pretty close to the old jail if you guys are going to go there.
Okay. You want to try? Is that your favorite thing?
It's not going to be open now, just so you know. It's got to be daylight there.
Yeah, we'll probably go like tomorrow before we leave.
I had Mia testing like where the steeple on the side of it gives a really cold temperature on either side last night. So I just want to see if it's something that we have to debunk, if it's just super windy up there. I mean, we had like a 15 to 12, like 15 to 20 degree difference. Yeah, like it was pretty big. I haven't been down here during the day. Alright guys, let's head to Philadelphia Alley and talk about some booze.
Mom.
Is it that cold?
Not really. It never got cold.
It was like 70.
I mean, it goes like in the very beginning. It was at like 73, and then it went back up to like 76 or 9 or something. It was really weird. It was colder, but not very much. Oh.
What? Oh, it was that. And that what? Oh, like a wire? I don't know. That's the super haunted place, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Something said 49, but I don't know
Wow.
what it is.
Oh, wow. That's
Or what it was.
Yeah, that is cold. That's weird. Not seeing that for here. Yeah. Still nothing.
alright.
Might be something at the end. I don't know.
What?
Might be something at the end. Like apparently when he looked at the tower before, or the steeple, it was like a lot
What?
cold. When he looked at the steeple before, it was a lot colder, but it was only like a couple degrees colder. Oh wow, that's a crane. Oh, we're far behind. Okay. Oh, come on.
When this at the building, we're walking by, it said 49, but then I couldn't find where it said that. It said that.
so it was touching something.
It was the one really haunted building with the business.
Nice.
Oh, down there.
Did you catch anything?
The
yet?
dark one.
I didn't catch anything.
Keep trying.
I know.
Guys, we're gonna cut through this group right here.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go just past it, so I can tell you a very quick and short story of their big finale. This is not my finale. It's a cool story to tell. You should know it because it's Charleston.
It's a story he didn't say yet.
I'll just scan it.
Just don't say it was Nick from Stars in the Cemetery. All right, guys, let's just excuse us and we'll go right past it.
Oh, perfect. They're leaving. I have it.
Good, how are you?
Good.
There's like little roots going out of there.
What?
Building. See?
Oh yeah.
Like little plants.
All right, so again, this is everybody's big finale. We're gonna make this short and sweet. This alley actually used to have 3 names. It started off as Cow Alley, because this is where they used to keep the livestock. And then it turned into Dueler's Alley, because this is where they used to come down and duel, take 20 paces, turn and shoot. And now, when dueling is illegal, we had to turn it into something else. So this is Philadelphia Alley now, or Philly Alley. You'll hear it called that too. And that's because we had to name it after somebody that helped us with something. Philadelphia bailed us out of one of our fires. Don't ask me which one. We've had millions of them. And bigger cities used to bail us out all the time. So we named it after Philadelphia. It is residential at the end. So what's super cool about this, other than the death gate, as we'll call it, you know, this is where the dueler, the dead guy would go through. At the end of this, just another cool little Charleston fact, there are slave-turned bricks.
Oh.
They were sun-dried. So you could still see the fingerprints and handprints from the slaves that turned them.
Wow.
Sun-dried, they used to have to actually turn the bricks every hour so that they would dry. We didn't have ovens, so they would have to sun-dry. So they used to have to literally turn them, and you can see their fingerprints and the handprints.
Wow.
It's at the end of the residential area. London and I will point them out, but we do have to continue moving. If you want a picture, take it quickly. It's super cool stuff. It's sad, and they are in 3 different places of Charleston: Boone Hall, Drayton Hall, and Philadelphia Alley. So, and in, I think it's Boone Hall, they're actually in the wall. You can actually see their fingerprints in the wall. There's a full handprint down there, and it is a child's handprint. So we will point it out. It's just one of those cool little Easter eggs of Charleston that you really can't find anywhere else. So what's the crazy story down here? There was a duel. Imagine that.
Wow.
And of course, there were probably hundreds or even thousands of duels that happened here. But the famous one is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. He was a doctor, obviously. His fiance inherited a bunch of money from her deceased parents. The lawyer handling the money said, "You're not going to marry Amanda. You need to go start your practice somewhere else and prove to me you're not just after the money." So what's the doctor do? He moves to Charleston. He starts his practice. However, when he moves down here, the carriage ride says, "I'm going to drop you off here." The carriage driver was setting him up to be robbed and killed. Right? Bad part of Charleston at the time. Wouldn't think that there would have been at the time. But although, I'm just going to add words to my story now. So anyway, somebody, a passerby, his name was Ralph Isaacs, stopped and said, "No, this is a bad part of town. Let me take you to a good place to stay." So he takes him up to 59 Church Street, which is about 1.5 miles. So actually, it's 1.4 miles to be exact.
So would you say somebody just saw him, and who did that?
Just a passerby.
Just realized he was
hey,
in
this
the
is a
wrong
newcomer.
place.
He's not a Charlestonian. Let's get him to a safe place.
Okay.
So he got him to a safer place. Again, 59 Church Street. There's 2 women living downstairs. The doctor took the apartment upstairs. So the 2 became friends. However, the doctor, his practice was getting more busier, and he's very popular around town. And he's a very happy guy. He was known as the Whistling Doctor. If you Google the Whistling Doctor, this is the story you'll hear. So, however, the passerby was not exactly so popular. He was just kind of a regular worker around Charleston, and he wasn't in the higher society that the doctor was. However, they still had the same taste. They go to see a play, Richard III. That one I do have is fact. They leave and start talking about the play because they couldn't sit next to each other because they're from 2 different parts of society. So they talk about the play afterwards. They started arguing about one of the actresses, and then it turned into an argument and slander against the doctor's fiance back home, which was in...
Good question.
Yeah, not from here. So up north somewhere. Again, it's been a few months, guys. I gotta brush up. So anyway, the two start arguing. They go their separate ways. Ralph Isaacs put something in the paper about what a disgrace the doctor is to the city of Charleston. Right? It's the whole city. He's a well-known guy. So the doctor gets kind of ticked off, and he says, we're going to duel this out in Endor Valley. So they come down here. The doctor was probably on this side because it's closer to his house. He wasn't expecting to lose. Ralph Isaacs down there. They take the 20 paces. The doctor points his gun in the air, and he shoots. He does not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to prove a point.
Oh, he wasn't feeling the same.
He didn't care. Yeah, I was just about to say, he just wasn't feeling the same.
The other guy, Ralph Isaacs, turns, shoots, takes 2 shots below the knees. He doesn't want to kill his friend either. He wants to make a point. So friends pick up the doctor, take him home, 1.4 miles away. The doctor dies 10 days later.
Oh, wow.
He's a doctor. How he couldn't manage 2 gun wounds below the knees is beyond me, but we're talking about the 1840s, 1850s. So, regardless to say, it is said that you can hear whistling as you walk down this alley. I have yet to catch it. I listen to the audio every single time I do a tour for that specific whistling. I did hear whistling the first time I was here on a bright early morning, but I debunked it as some bird that could not sing. Okay? I didn't have all my equipment with me. It was just one of those, let me check out this alley and see what's going on. I did hear some whistling. It is also said that you can hear the gunshot. You guys hear a big bang on the audio that we can't hear with our own ears. Super cool stuff. This is all the other tours' big final finale because they do the big bang at the end of their story to give a good scare. However, we have the real deal. So we're going to take a walk down here and walk slowly. Who has the EMF again? You're going to get a spike near the Footlight Players Club. That's the actor studio for Dock Street Theater. So they have a lot of equipment. Yes.
So, has this whole thing been, this alley was this long then, so nothing's changed?
The only thing that's changed is the bricks. These bricks you're standing on are like 1985, and they're going to get older as we go. But everything else, like even some of the stonework, it's pretty much all original. The wall is completely original.
Really?
And there's a plaque at the center of the alley. If you want to stop and take a picture of the whole story of Philadelphia Alley, or brand. Very interesting, because it's just the Cow Alley, cow branding. But yeah, let's take a hike. Again, residential again, so you're going to be super quiet. Then we'll make a left after the alley. Good questions.
Me? Yeah. I'm watching a lot of this.
Hi. Okay. Still nothing.
Anything yet?
Still nothing. Oh, it's the plaque. Hold on. Turn on flash. What in the world is turned on? Okay, got it. Oh.
It's a little love.
You
guys on a tour?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, enjoy.
Hi.
Oh, it's a tour. Wow.
Oh, scared me.
Lily, no jumping.
Hi.
Sit. Lily, sit down.
So
sit.
cute.
Sit down. Yeah, sit.
Wow.
Oh gosh. So cute, Mom.
Oh, so soft.
Scared me for a second though, because it's like.
Oh. Well, you guys are getting a puppy.
Oh, I know.
Just
Startled
like,
me for a second. That's it.
didn't see it coming.
Oh, hi, sweetie. Oh, this too. Hi, puppies. Hold on, wait, door.
Oh.
Nothing there. Nothing from the trash can. Oh, okay. I'll check the bricks because they might have something. Get your cameras out, folks.
To drive the bricks out.
Oh, wow.
The thumb is connected to these two. Oh, wow.
You're gonna have to plastic surgery.
Wow.
I want those three. I don't want anything else. Oh, I'm standing right in the way.
Okay. Coming, Mom? Nothing in there? Oh, that's just a door. Oh, look, Matilda. Let's go.
Oh, is this the theater or something?
Oh, yeah, that's what the theater is talking about. Ooh. Danger. Nothing there. Okay. We should probably just keep going. Pennywise? Just kidding. I don't want to stop there. I'm gonna walk around that. Ooh, that's pretty.
My dad was something.
My dad.
Alright, so I'll tell this story pretty quick. And this is our last building of the night. This is the Wagner building, catty corner from us. So that dark and brick building. There are condos in the back. And right now they're building reception halls in the front with like a 10-star restaurant. It's right on the water. So it used to be part of our cotton industry. The back of it was the warehouse. The front were the offices for the business. The last person who ran the cotton business that was there actually inherited it from his father. He had no idea what he was doing. He got himself into a bunch of debt, a bunch of trouble with other debtors, and he sold all the cotton to the British. Because we also had the boll weevil coming to town, which was eating up his profits even further. So we got rid of it very quickly for a cheap price. So basically the ships, because we're at Pineapple Park. You guys all heard of Pineapple Park? Yeah. So Pineapple Park is straight ahead. So the ships came in on the dock before Pineapple Park was there. Carriage from the back of these doors back here loaded up the ships. However, once it got onto the ships, somebody was really close to it with a cigar or pipe. The whole ship went up in flames.
Oh, God.
Okay, so the gentleman's watching from the second-story window. His whole legacy of his father's business go up in flames. He's completely ashamed. He's already depressed. Stacks up all the furniture, throws a noose over the rafters, and hangs himself. It's said that you can see the shadow of his swinging corpse.
Oh, gosh.
Full moon or darkened night, which is however you want to put it. The legends all say different things.
Where are you seeing?
It's in the very front of the building, from the second story, which you really can't see unless you're across the street. Or if you go across to there's a bar across the street that has a rooftop bar. You can get a really good glimpse of it from up there. So I get weird things from this. I've had some nights where I've had full conversations through the spirit box. I've had other nights where it's been nothing, and then other nights I get stuff through here that just says like insects itching, cotton, random names. So I do get some activity out of this building. It's an interesting story to tell if you ever hear of the swinging corpse. It was this Wagner building. It looks like Magna, but it was actually Wagner. So we're actually going to cross straight ahead, then across, so we can follow Charleston laws, and then we'll see what kind of activity we get. Got a suggestion.
Yeah, it probably is. Felt cold over here, didn't it?
Right here. What does that read?
Nothing.
29.
Oh, they're all leaving us.
I know.
We gotta go. Okay, nothing there.
It was too dark too. Blazing.
Oh, wow. Oh. Oh, it got pretty low, like right here. Like it was at 71 a second ago.
Right outside.
Lines within.
Making sure you didn't get anymore.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now, not for a minute. I'll let you know what happens. Yes, sir. Please do.
Huh. Oh, it's at like 69.
Yeah. We're down to 69 over here.
At the window up there.
Window?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was.
Yeah, it was at 69 for like a second. The one right there.
Second story?
Yeah.
60?
Oh. Let's try there. Oh wow, this one's at 72. With the windows.
Yeah, it's going back down to 69.
Yeah.
Moving is a temperature change.
So it went back down to 69. Right here, down to 73.
Can't see up there.
I mean, that's also why we have the laser one.
Oh yeah.
So we can see that.
Okay.
Don't talk to poor guy.
She said, how's it hanging?
Then it's going to say execute.
It's gonna take pretty good. In those two windows, it was like 70. Yeah. Yeah.
Going up to like the second story. She's got like 65. Close to the roof that could be captured in the brain. We're not catching downstairs.
Nick, you put this up against the see about wiring.
Okay.
Well, guys, that concludes my tour. Did we catch some ghosts?
Oh.
I think we got some.
Yeah.
So I got some evidence I got to go through, and you actually had some questions I got to research, which is really cool. So I'll definitely get back to you on that. London will go through and collect gadgets.
Let's just hope we didn't have any follow-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
I kept hearing a similar voice, and I had that thought, like, what about
Actually, done. Alright, so the folks that booked your group's tour, I will text you tomorrow when the evidence is posted on the website. I probably won't have time to go through all of it. If you catch something before I do, which I will probably go through more stuff on Monday from last night's tour and tonight's tour, I got schoolwork in the morning. I won't be able to do it all, but once I get it uploaded, I will text